Hello, Tony here for Sprint7. I've got the collision system working now after solving the include loop. Turns out it was this collision dispatch had a include to collidable it didn't need, and and dispatch is included in the collision manager, which is included in collidable. So ergo loop. Took me a while to figure out how to solve that one, but got it in the end. Right. So as for this week, we got the the B sphere collision pet test. Yeah, for the collidables. Right. So we've got the actual tests here in a pair collision test command. The self one is pretty much the same. So I'll just show this one. Basically, you got your B spheres here, and you got your intersect function here, which is in volume. That. Here's the header file. Nothing too fancy. Right. So we got the it's being calling the intersect function, which is calling the function in the math tools right here. Got the math. I put it on 3 lines, make it a little bit better on the eyes. So yeah, should be about the same anyway. And then we got the compute data in the volume B sphere, collision volume B sphere. This does math for the to taking in the model, which will allow it to get the model center and the calculate the radius using the also using the world matrix here that it gets in every frame. Right. So I didn't fill in this intersect function because this is for things that are not B spheres, and currently we're just using B spheres. So figured we'll have the correct intersection function for when we have not B spheres. Right. So that should be it for these two things. Let's move on quickly to the visualizer. Right, so the visualizer. Oh, actually, I probably should look at the pair test command again for a second. Right, so yeah, we got the intersect here, dispatch callbacks, which is the same as before, but now on intersect it will visualize a red spheres, and when it's not intersecting, it will visualize blue spheres, which is the default color. Right, so visualizer. We got the visualizer. It's a singleton, other than that, nothing too crazy in the header file. Right, so we got default color here is set to 0, or not 0, blue. We've got the setting up the graphics object here that it will use, it only uses this one. It basically just changes the values for it so that it can render each B-sphere. So super efficient, yay. Right, so we got our math here to get the world matrix, which it then sends off, assuming it passed this test here, which I had to put this test in because I have 2 enemy tanks and 1 player tank, and sometimes the player tank, or on one of them, the player tank's sphere wouldn't light up in the visualizer because it would get overwritten. Because in the player test here, right, the second one would be like, oh, you're not colliding with me, so I'm gonna draw you as blue, and it happened to be called first, so this solves that problem so that it looks like it should, but regardless of what the visualizer shows, it does the correct collidables anyway, so it doesn't matter that much. Just makes it look better. Anyway, got the visualize all here. Just runs through a list of commands, which is here. All right, so it's got visualizer vSphere commands, which can be changed later once we have, well, not vSpheres, but makes it a little bit easier for the current quarter. Right. Anyway, that's up here. Right. Here we go. So we've got this is the show vSphere. This is what's called on the this is like the public function that's called, which then sends the command, and the command executes to call this, which renders, actually does the rendering, and sets the wireframe sphere on the visualizer. Right, now let's head on over to the demo content, which has changed a bit since the last time you've seen it, including a gut camera, because gut camera is awesome. Anyway, I originally tried to do this on my own until I realized by looking at Discord that you had put out code for this already, so yeah, it doesn't look exactly like yours because of that. I basically just put in the change because I was missing the rotation part here, and in the set orient position, which I now have, so it works as intended. And we have an enemy tank and a player tank, and of course a ground. To look at the scene, right? So we got our pair collision, some other stuff happening. Of course, God camera. Right, so let's just run it. Right, here we go. We got our tanks and our V-spheres. Middle one's player character, which I am moving. And if we go over here, it'll be like, I'm touching. I'm touching. And God camera works as it should. Which is, I'm having a lot of fun controlling it. I'll get used to it. Right, so we got our close-ups here. Whoop, and our fun little God camera. So yeah, I still need to do a couple things from past sprints, like set up a bullet factory to do the bullets and stuff, and then of course set them up as collidables. So a little more demo stuff to go. I was gonna make the turrets move. I've got about half the stuff in place to do that. I just need to put in the math for it. Well, not half, but I've got it all separated out as far as the stuff goes. I just need to put in the actual like controls for it. What I mean. Yeah. So, also attorneys. You probably saw a couple attorneys, like the visualizer attorney here. I don't quite have all of them yet. I'm kind of slowly transitioning into having attorneys. Some of them, like basically anything on from in the last couple sprints has attorneys, like the time manager and the collidables and stuff. There's the attorney. Right. Yeah, I'm still got to go back and do some of the attorneys, like for the asset managers. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching.